order, and we're recording it, so that's good. And we have to do a roll call for vote to call the meeting to order. So Debbie
Aye.
and Dave
Dave Courier, aye.
and Rosalind. I know you're on, but are
You're
you able to
muted, Rosalind.
unmute and say that you can participate remotely, hear and participate?
Yes.
Thank you. And Elisa, yes. Okay. Any public comment or correspondence? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on. This was, do we have the minutes? I didn't see the minutes in the packet. We did?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait, here they are. Sorry, I haven't reviewed them. Um, is anybody else prepared to make a motion on the minutes?
Move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, good. And all in favor? So Debbie
Aye.
and Rosalind, I have to have you come off mute again.
Yes, I.
Okay, and Dave?
Dave Courier, aye.
Yep, and Elisa, yes. All right. And first up on the agenda is our branding, Orleans marketing and branding. So Amanda's going to lead us through a conversation.
Right. And sorry, I didn't submit a staff memo this time because it was so quick. But you will get a very, very thorough, thick one for March, I promise. But yeah, so I thank you for the opportunity to review the draft of the Town of Orleans Brand Standards Guide. That's what I'm going to walk you through the document today. But I just want to reiterate that this is the first draft of the brand standards guide. I've given them feedback and am happy, to take your feedback today on the clarity of what's presented. I just do want to make clear that this has been a year-long process and we've landed on where we've landed. So colors and logo, like that stuff has been kind of ready for final presentation to the select board and the community. So what I would love from you all today is if we walk through the brand guidelines and something doesn't make sense or something needs to be more clear, then we can, and I will tell you what feedback I've given them as well. And I want to just share how it's structured and how it's intended to be used. And then and I think I do want to set a little context and talk through how we got here in the first place. You all are very well aware that the Economic Development Plan called for a brand and marketing strategy for the Town of Orleans. And it was one of the first things that I started on when I came on board about a year and a half ago. And I think when people hear the word branding, they often think logo or marketing, and that is part of this, but for municipalities, it's, a lot bigger than that. It's also about how we communicate clearly and consistently. And then, before a message is read, and this is something, through the stakeholder process, we tried to really educate the people who weren't quite, aren't branding experts, haven't developed a logo, haven't done any of that. But, before a message is read, it really is felt. And that's where, what we're trying to do with this brand package is help people to feel Orleans as well as see things as well. So that means color, layout, typography, and they shape how people feel. And from a municipality standpoint, we want it to feel trustworthy and accessible, as well as reflect the community values. And right now, the way it stands, we communicate in many different ways across many departments and committees, and we don't have a shared visual system. I have a hard time even locating a digital file of our seal. So, that's something that
So
we
basic.
really needed to clean up, right? And organize. And that's one of the things, as not just the economic development person, but the communications person. I'm been working on, because we don't want there to be confusion and missed opportunities. But I also want, like, consistency breeds trust. And so we need that to function. So this visual branding system is a set of tools. So it's logo, colors, typography, layouts, and we want everything to look connected. It is not a replacement for the town seal. And I want to reiterate that as many times as I need to. The seal is a historical marker of the town of Orleans. And I'll get more into, when and how that will be used as opposed to the logo. So this is a communication framework that helps us show up consistently across print, digital, and physical spaces. So like I said, we didn't have any of this in place before, and I thought, there were lots of reasons that it was one of the first things that I wanted to do. The economic development plan is one of the things. I mean, that's what I was brought on to do, was execute that plan among, other things. But also from the communication side, when I'm trying to create content for social media and we want posters and flyers and all of that to look consistent. And so it's also something I have experience doing I have founded many businesses and nonprofits and have been a part of developing this kind of system. So it was definitely a space that I was comfortable moving forward and leading the project. Alongside you all and obviously the stakeholder group. So it also is going to improve recognition and set us apart from our competition. And I say that all the time. And our competition is other Cape Cod towns. So we definitely want to set Orleans apart from the rest of the Cape. And we're not alone in this. A lot of communities similar to Orleans have adopted branding systems. You see it a lot in tourist communities. And the key takeaway isn't, specifically what their logos look like. It's that they recognize there's a recognized system that people will see and learn to, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, but associate it with that community. So the branding system was designed to do a few specific things. Like I said, improve consistency across town communications, make it easier for staff to produce professional materials, help people recognize official town information quickly, support tourism, business engagement, and competitiveness, improve wayfinding and visitor experience, reflect Orleans' authentic character, and again, complement, not replace the town seal. So we partnered with Superette Studio, and they're based on the Cape, out of Sandwich, and we had about 35 people respond to our RFQ. They were the ones chosen, and with them, we engaged staff, stakeholders, and the public through workshops, surveys, and other feedback loops. The stakeholder group was made up of residents, business owners, members of the EDC, the cultural district, and staff. There were 4 meetings in person and on Zoom where they reviewed, I would say 5 to 6 options and different kind of avenues we could go down. We also had a public meeting where we discussed the brand strategy and had a survey that we put out to the community through our communications tools to get their input as well. And all of that was taken on board. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh. Sorry. There it is. Okay. With you all. And then, we can walk through this. This is, again, first draft of the brand guidelines, which will be the final product that we get from the graphic designers, consultants. I've already, with the cover, these photos are placeholders. I just want people to know they will be replaced with photos of Orleans. I've already sent them a library full of photos that they can use. And so the brand standards guide is the instruction manual for using the branding system. And it's going to help staff, boards, committees, and partners, other partners. So this will live on the website. Other people will be able to see our brand standards. That's a best practice across municipalities. And it teaches them how to use the tools correctly and consistently. And it protects the brand by preventing inconsistent use. So one thing that I've asked them to reiterate here in the introduction is outlining the two official marks, which is the seal and the town logo, and the different purposes that they serve. The town seal represents the legal authority, the governance. It will show up in legal documents and things like that. The town logo is a communication tool, and it'll be designed for clarity and accessibility. So they will also be used together for official staff communication. So our letterhead will have both, our memorandums will have both, things like that will have both together. And just can you all see that? Or is your Zoom, does your Zoom?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure that I'm not blocking you in any way. I can't figure out how to get one page on. So this is where we landed with like I said, year-long process, lots of stakeholder engagement. And this is the vertical primary logo, the horizontal primary logo. They will be used in different treatments. And then we have primary logo extensions. We can simplify it here. You'll see. So for example, this might be the, social media profile picture. And then the primary logos extensions, the Orleans Blue, we're calling it Orleans Blue, is going to be one that you'll see. We've decided will show up in official documents because it looks really good with the seal. The more colorful primary logo will be much more in kind of marketing arenas. There's also a secondary seal that we use that's just a term of use. We're not adopting a new seal. That's just how graphic designers refer to that style of logo is as a seal. So we have lots of different options for different treatments. And then it goes on to show you how to use the logo and how much space it needs around it, how to use it on different color backgrounds. These are, if we engage with other graphic designers, they'll be able to look at this brand guide and know, exactly how to execute the use of this. So again, these are the different examples of how we can use the logo, and it can be used on external use. So these that we're looking at over here is like you see it on reports, things like this. The reports will use both the seal and the logo, official reports of the town. And I asked her to update that. They then go on to tell us what not to do, which is, changing fonts, stretching out the image. We want to make sure that the brand is used in the way that we intended it. Orleans, other departments' logos. This is where, the PD and the fire department will have their versions of the logo. The fire department will likely get the red, and PD will use blue, but they will keep their seals. Again, we're not trying to replace anything like that. And then we wanted to show that when we're using the new logo with things like this, we will use the secondary seal. I had the traditional seal re-illustrated because, like I said, I did not have electronic files of all the types that we need for modern communications. So I had the seal redrawn so that we will have all of the types of files that we need. It's also, I think they did a beautiful job reflecting the seal. I sent them every version that we've ever had, and they were able to produce this. I think it looks very beautiful, and it honors the seal really well. And like I said, there will be times that we use the seal alone, and there will be times that we use it together, and that will be made very, very clear for staff and internal and external communications. And then we've already changed this. We will be, the font, the primary typeface they used isn't readily available in Canva. So we are changing it to Montserrat. It's a very similar looking font, but there's that. And then we're going to have a supporting font. So like one that is a sans serif that you can use in any document, and we'll be using Georgia for that. And then this is a script font is really nice for accents on visuals and things like that. So the colors, this is the palette that we'll be working with primarily in our official communications. It will be the navy, black, and white. Orleans blue, I should say. And then this is a secondary palette, and these are really good for accenting. And this is more for like social media, posters, flyers. We're producing this type of stuff all the time. So these will be really nice accent colors for that. And then they did produce the icons in those accent colors. So there will be different departments that get their own header. Like I said, the fire department, police department will get their own header. And there are a couple of other departments that will as well. Council on Aging, Senior Center, because they have their own sort of separate identity. And DPW is another one, and the Recreation Department. And then again, they're showing how to use the colors and then different design elements. This might seem kind of silly, but I use these in the graphics that I create for social media all the time. Is like, what do our lines look like? What do our squares look like? Things like that. These are, details that when we're designing the content and the posters and the thing, like this is what this will look like. We also have a suite of iconography. So for example, on our website, there are different icons that live on the front page and throughout this is the icon set that we will be using. And they're in the colors of the brand. And then this is getting updated. The stationery is going to have both the seal and the logo, and it will be the navy blue, Orleans blue logo. We're not going to be using the full color for that. Again, this is department stationery. They were showing different ways how the seal and the logo can be used together. And then email signatures, again, we're going to use the Orleans blue, and this is what we're going to ask all staff to do. And then they gave ideas for email templates. So this is basically showing you all, like, incorporating how this brand can be used in all of our communications. And they gave photo guidelines, signage options. So as we look towards wayfinding, kind of incorporating this wave feel to signage, which actually is reflective of the wayfinding sign study that was done in 2021 as well. But we'll be using incorporating the font and the color story when we can, so that it feels unified. And then these are potential sandwich signs, things like that, and then different collateral materials. They gave examples of flyers and community posters that we could use. They've used the logo in a lot of different ways. And then this is the brand architecture. The mission was to share our welcoming spirit, coastal beauty, valued community, and vibrant economy with residents and visitors locally, nationally, and beyond. So, and this all goes on to brand pillars that we developed that are internal and just set the tone for things, moving forward, projects moving forward. So, the brand pillars were that Orleans is perfectly imperfect, a place to call home, naturally outdoorsy, and traditions old and new. And that was what the stakeholder group, all came together with their input. And the brand, the logo, and this brand package is meant to reflect that.
What does perfectly imperfect mean?
I'm like, can we?
I can't read it.
I'll try to.
Just that we're like,
We
funky.
champion our eccentricities and don't put on a facade of perfection. We're not afraid of a new idea or getting our hands a little dirty. We're more handmade than precision made, and our imperfections make us quaint, charming, exciting, and relatable.
All right. So we're not stuffy.
Yes. Yeah. We're not trying to
Blue
be,
blood.
we're not trying to be something we're not.
Yeah.
And, a place to call
Organic,
home.
funky. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it kind of, was
Yeah.
encompassing all that. Again, this is more, these were the pillars to help us build the brand. This
Yeah.
isn't something we're going to be,
No. I
talking.
just was wondering what.
Yeah. You're like, what does
perfectly
that even mean?
Yeah.
I can't get over. Oops. I'm so sorry, guys. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot there. Do you guys
Yeah.
have questions or comments so far?
I think it looks great.
You like it?
I do.
I'm going to stop sharing.
I was trying to get
Oh,
off
Judy.
mute. So that is an interesting pillar. I said the same thing, perfectly imperfect. I thought that was kind of cute. The other thing I was going to ask you, and Amanda, great job. I mean, great job on this. This is so comprehensive. There's so much in there. I do like the logo and how it plays into, the color, and it's all very vibrant and exactly what, I think the message that we want to convey. And I was going to ask you, being involved in so many branding exercises in the past about mission and vision, and you had that in there, so that's great. The other thing I don't see that maybe you do have, aren't showing, is values. Like, what are the values of our communities? Was that in there?
Hold please. Let me see.
I think that's an important thing to hold forth and be proud of that. And then, guidelines, how do we operate? I think is another piece of a more comprehensive branding strategy.
So I think in this exercise, here, I'm going to pull it back up. The share is being weird. I'm sorry, guys. So I think the brand pillars were more the values. So, I don't know if you can see all of that, but this is weird. Hold on. So a place to call home. So it's saying we have everything we need to make this a true place to call home, our commitment to our people and our environment, and our wide variety of businesses that serve us, and most importantly, our community. The naturally outdoorsy was really the scenic beauty of our natural surroundings has attracted people for centuries, provided ways to make a living, offered peace and serenity, and served as a backdrop for precious memories for so many. And then the traditions old and new. We don't shy away from our old traditions and the historical inspirations that made us who we are today. We actively embrace and encourage new and progressive ones. We honor our past while adapting for new generations and the new realities. And then, and we can come back to that in a second, but this is messaging lexicon. So when we're talking about community services, how this is going to come across. And so this is basically, this will be internal for staff. So when we're talking about governance and administration, it's a clear and transparent tone, professional and direct, things like that. And then they have a social media style guide as well. But in terms of the values, because I think I know what you're getting at, we are working on an internal process that is, because this is just one element of that, but we're working on more of like a strategic planning process internally for our governance aspect of things.
Yeah, no,
makes sense.
thank you, Amanda. Look, I don't think of those things when I think of values, right?
Right.
I think
Yeah.
about respect, inclusivity, right?
Absolutely.
Ingenuity, collaboration. Those are the kind of things that I think about when I think about values.
Yes.
And that's the doctrine, right? That's what you live by, and
Yep.
that's how you treat your customers, right? And that's what you get. That's what you get when you come to this town.
Yeah. And
right.
So we're, the Orleans comprehensive planning process sort of spurred us to do, that's a land use management plan. And we felt like we needed more of something like what you're talking about that identifies our, municipal government. How do we want to serve the public? And that's definitely, we're working on the mission, vision, values, in that regard. So this exercise had the pillars, which led us to where we are.
Okay, thank you, Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, hi, Andrea. Yeah.
Hi. Well, not really. Well, but what Rosalind's talking about is is not what this exercise was about. I don't think this was being driven so that we could get wayfinding up and running by Springtown meeting. So Debbie has been around since the beginning in terms of in 2012, we established a need for wayfinding. We went through with the Cape Cod Commission, we went through iterations. We've tried to find graphic artists who would make translations. This has been more than a decade in coming. And I think the branding was the finishing point so that when we go to look at signage, that the real world and the virtual worlds of this town are the same for anybody who interacts with us. And that year-long process, the public process of branding, kind of put the finishing touches and the specifics with an independent group of people who everybody hadn't been previously involved. So to me, it was a breath of fresh air because having been at this for more than 10 years, I wasn't directly involved and the outcome was nothing I would have predicted. But funny enough, it looked like that sign, the flag that was rejected at town meeting many, many years ago, that the group still valued the sunset and the coast. Anyway, so it was this was what Rosalind's talking about is absolutely necessary for how we conduct our business. This exercise was not that.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, that was good context, and Andrea, thank you.
Yeah.
Can I just step in? Amanda,
Please.
I think it turned out great. I'm really happy because it makes me happy to look at all those colors.
Yeah, thank you. And
so-
thank you so much for your input. Like you were so diligent this whole process. So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. But it was, and I think this is our first, part of the 10 years for all of this was that when people don't get into how you use branding, how you do communications, when you're not in that headspace, when you don't do it yourself, you don't realize how complicated it is. And when we went through our first process, the grant, developing the color, picking a color, pick one of these 4 colors, pick the one you like, that kind of survey. we got some information, but then it was like, okay, go make signs. And I will say, I was the one who said to George, you don't just go make signs. Like, what do they look like? How big are they? What's
Yeah.
the font? Where do you put the logo? Are there different ones for different places? Blah, blah, blah. And one clearly needs professionals working this through because it is complicated. And I'm really excited that Orleans will look friendly and happy and consistent.
Yeah.
Now we have to go to the planning board
Yeah.
meeting.
Well, before you leave, can we just take a vote here? Do you want us to take a vote to like, no,
Do it.
not do anything, just, okay.
Yeah.
You've heard from the Economic Development Committee, we like it and it's all good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna lose our quorum, so I'm just gonna end the meeting now. We can come back to our
Oh.
goals at another time. But while I have Debbie, Dave, is there anything, I just spoke for, I think, both of us, but if you want to say anything, chime in, and Judy, if you want to chime in real quick.
Okay. I think I chimed.
No,
David?
Dave's good. Judy, you're good.
I'm good.
Okay, good. Rosalind's good. Okay, we like it. Good job, Amanda.
Thank you.
Right.
Um,
Very good. It's exciting, really. We're
yeah,
moving this town to a whole new level.
Amanda, when do you think this will actually be executed? I mean, I know the planning board everything has to be approved, et cetera, but when does this actually happen?
Well, I'll present to the select board in a couple of weeks, and then after that, we are due for a website refresh, so that would happen. I can start incorporating it into communications, pretty immediately. Physically, where the wayfinding project is going to be a little while. So, but yeah.
well, thank you for fitting in this meeting and getting us up to speed so we
Appreciate
could keep our the process and the timing, inserting ourselves in this important work and making
Yeah.
sure you can,
Yeah.
Andrea, and you can let the select board know we
Yeah.
support you all.
Well, thank
fully
you.
and
Thank you all very much.
moving
I
forward.
appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
so
Yeah.
thanks, Debbie, for bringing it up at the last meeting to make
Sure.
sure we were, following protocol.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with
And-
that, a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. And
Second,
Debbie's gonna second.
All in
Roll call
favor?
vote. Debbie's, aye. Rosalind,
Yes.
Dave,
Dave Courier, aye.
yeah, Elisa
rush me.
Magnata, aye. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. Have a good
Thanks,
night. Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye.